Hello everyone, welcome to ALR Gold, and we're here for round 5 at the home of motorsport. That is the British Grand Prix. We're here in Silverstone, of course, 18 turns around this 3.6 mile circuit, and we are live and ready to get racing. Of course, before we do, I've actually been a bit more organised tonight. I've got some parish notices for you before we get into qualifying. Of course, Emerson, who is second in the championship at the moment, is he's not first, which I completely got wrong last week, so yeah, that just shows why I failed at maths. But Emerson is second in the championship. He has got a full quali ban. So has Farf got a full quali ban as well, and also Echo has. So unfortunately, so those three drivers have been put in on the naughty step for the qualifying session, and they have got awful. They're going to have to be doing some serious overtakeage in the race coming up later on in this session. Then, so I've got the parish notices out of the way, which is good stuff, because usually that's something I completely forget about. As you can see, then we're just going into qualifying one then, and it's an absolutely beautiful circuit, isn't it? Of course, the first time F1 race around here was back in 1950, wasn't it? The first ever race actually around the first ever race of Formula 1 as well, wasn't it? 1950 on May the 10th, wasn't it, or something like that? May the 10th or 13th, I don't know, something like that. Quickly, let me get the track map up. My favourite thing in the world at the moment. I love the track map. Brilliant stuff. Makes you look a bit more smart than what I actually am. Yeah, so we're a minute into this qualifying session, and thank you all for joining us. My goodness me, you guys are eager as ever, aren't you, tonight? Brilliant stuff indeed. Of course, so just taking a quick look at the track history around here. Nigel, of course, has got the lap record at the moment. Nigel has that 1:29.563. Is that going to be beaten tonight? It wasn't beaten last season, was it? Because we used some yeah, it wasn't beaten last season, was it? Because I think there was all sorts of shenanigans going on in the race last season. Of course, Dan Lieutenant has had the fastest lap last season, but was 0.4 of a second off Nigel's pace. So I'm wondering if that's got to be a target for one of the drivers tonight, hasn't it? Whether they're going to beat that lap record, which probably none of them, a lot of them probably don't even care about, to be honest, but I do. I like a good stat or two. I'm a bit of the stat man, anyway. Anyway, in the most important stat is the championship at the moment, and let's take a look at the championship. The gap at the top is 1 point. 1 point between Granty and Emerson. My goodness me. That is absolutely, it's nip and tuck up there at the moment, isn't it? Emerson unfortunately got a qualifying ban, so he will not. It's going to be an absolutely incredible attempt, an absolutely incredible race day if he can actually overhaul that deficit. It will be. It's only 1 point, isn't it? Nigel 13 points back. Of course, the man who holds the lap record as well. Of course, the most distinguished driver in ALR history now, with 7 wins to his name. So I think he's got a two win gap over the second place most successful driver, which I think is Emerson, actually, with 5. Absolutely outstanding stuff. Oh, and Jochen's also got 5 as well. Back to the championship as I wander off subject once again. Echo is up in the 4th position now. Of course, unfortunately, Echo's got a qualifying ban as well, but he is on 37 points, along with Jonathan Cox as well on 37 points as well. They're both 35 points adrift. And Farf moving up to 6th position. Steve dropping down to 7th. Mr. Elite holding station in 8th. Laggy Racers in 9th position, and Roscoe, the biggest mover last week, up 8 positions to 10th. And Stringy also a big mover, up 7 positions as well. Fantastic stuff then. And also, so we got a Mercedes out on track. Of course, it's the only Mercedes, and it's the debutant. We'll talk about this debutant in just a few moments. And as he comes down the back straight, the hanger straight here in Silverstone, beautiful, isn't it? Talking to Mercedes, they are also top of the constructors as well on 85 points. They are 3 points. They are 3 points in front of Williams, and they've dropped down into 2nd position. Alfa Romeo have also dropped down 1 and into 3rd. Williams on 82 points. Alfa Romeo on 74 points. Racing Point is 4th position, 58 points. Ferrari are in 5th with Haas 6th, McLaren 7th, Renault 8th, Red Bull in 9th, and Toro Rosso in 10th position at the moment then. So we've just 2 points their name so far for Toro Rosso. Of course, we was tipping Toro Rosso to be right up there, but it's not been a very good start for the team from the former Minardi team, has it? Just watching Mumford then, as we're on board with him now, then making his debut tonight then in ALR in the Mercedes driver. And I gotta say, with every debutant, I gotta check out their helmet, and what a helmet it is. Beautiful. Car 29 then is he is just coming through the old start finish straight back in the good old days, wasn't it? and then coming over the grid hatches now, coming up to a Cop's corner, isn't it? Look at this then, this is hold your breath as he flies through that. You can see that, oh, just a hint of a lift there from Mumford, and now coming up to Maggots and Beckett's then, and look at this, this is an incredible series of corners, isn't it? Look at this, brilliant stuff. The cars are really working on the downforce on those cars are absolutely pushed to their limit then. 2 DRS zones around here. They used to be 3. I'm a little gut. They is he using a bit of slipstream? And my goodness me, that was a lot of wow. I thought he was going to go to the back of him then. My goodness me. But coming through at Stowe then, and you can see then we got a bit of a sunset here tonight, haven't we? Lovely day here in Northamptonshire then, and you can see then Mumford, they're wrestling the car, isn't he? As he comes through the final corner now, and Mumford does a 30.282 then, and it's the first man to post a time on the board then. We got McLaren out there as well, of Mr. Elite then, and he is coming through the complete lap as well then. Of course, we've got 3 guys that's not in, that has been, well, basically been naughty boys and are allowed to take part in qualifying, so we are aiming in and Mr. Elite has got a fastest out on a 28.0 there from Mr. Elite. Good stuff indeed there from the McLaren driver. So here comes that Young Lights, who is coming down the back straight now. There's another Red Bull of Matt, who's out on track as well, but he is just starting to start now, so we're going to keep an eye on Young Lights and as he's coming down the Wellington straight now. So yeah, what we're doing in this qualifying session, there's 18 minutes in total in this qualifying session. We've already completed 6 minutes of it, and we are aiming to so with the 3 guys that have been banned from qualifying, we are aiming to line up 16th and 17th, so there's technically only going to be 2 drivers getting knocked out of this session, and as the other 3 have already got knocked out, in theory anyway, unless there's, someone has a big old mighty smash there, isn't it? Young Lights there going left, right, it's incredible, isn't it? And look at that, I thought he was going completely the other way there, but Young Lights had it absolutely under control, and whoa, we've also got Mercedes there, who is just in front of us now then, and Young Lights there using a bit of a slipstream as well, then throwing it into Stowe corner then. Look at those cars, that is an absolutely beautiful shot, isn't it? Coming up to the final 2 corners now then for Young Lights then, and you can see just navigating then. Let's see what his time can do then. The target is a 28 flat at the moment for Mr. Elite. He's done a 28.4 for Young Lights. We've got his second McLaren out there as well. No, it's Mr. Elite. Matt is now just coming onto the hangar straight as well then. Yeah, as I was saying, there's 2 DRS zones around here, and Matt's got a very similar helmet to Pastor Maldonado, hasn't he? But it looks like that on board there, or maybe more one Pablo Montoya-esque. No, it's nowhere near, is it? What am I saying? But yeah, but it's a new helmet there from Matt, and he is on his way to complete the lap now then. But yeah, of course, this circuit has only 2 DRS zones now. They used to have 3. They used to have one on this start-finish straight, didn't they? Unfortunately, that was Grosjean put pace to that after he went spinning off into the first corner. It was a bit of a frightening old spin there, wasn't it, from Grosjean. And I'm just taking a look then to see as here comes Twang, and he's invalidated his time, so he's going to have to go around again, and he is going to go around again. Twang has missed the last 2 races, but he's back in action for the Renault team. The Renault team are in the constructors round, are 8th so far. Another team which we predicted, the so-called experts, which I am definitely not one of those. So Twang there right off the track there, and wow, that's a bit of rallycross there. Peter Soberg would be loving that. I don't think Twang will be too happy about that though, will he? In the Renault, and I've just knocked off the telemetry there. But yeah, so Twang there has had a bit of a messy old start to this lap then, so unfortunately he's going to well, he's going to have to go around again and post a more because this time it's not going to be enough, I don't think, to get him through, unfortunately. And I've sorry guys, I've neglected you in the old comment section tonight. I'm not 8 minutes on there, and I haven't even spoke to you guys yet. My goodness me, where are my manners? As he's coming through Cop's corner. That's a cracking corner, isn't it? I love it, because Silverstone did have a lot of renovation, didn't they, back in 2011, I think. They also had a lot of renovation in 94, 95 and 96. There was a lot of changes made to the circuit, wasn't it? A lot of it was down to safety grounds, of course, after the awful incident of Imola, wasn't it, back in 94, where they started to throw in temporary chicanes in likes of Canada and Spain and all that kind of areas. But and Silverstone, of course, was also one of the tracks. It was which was heavily modified, wasn't it? But it's still a classic circuit nonetheless, isn't it? As I said, it's been on the calendar since 1950. Hosts the first ever F1 race as well. Twang there is Invade. It's time so he's got to go again. And Toon is on track at the moment. He's just coming down the back straight, and he's just started straight. There's a Mercedes in front of us, and that's Mumford there. He's just trying to get himself going. Yeah, in the comment section we got Jonathan Coates. Good evening, Sean. Good evening, Jonathan. Jonathan's already had success today, hasn't he? In the in another league race. I can't remember which league he said now, but yeah, he's had a very so he's had a strong start to Sunday, and I'm wondering if he could now claw himself back up into the title fight, because he dropped down 2 positions after the events of Spa last week. So he needs to get himself back on the horse, so to speak, doesn't he? We've also got LH44 Shalom. Oh, Shalom, I think it is, isn't it? Toonford there. He's not on the lap mode, he's just on an out lap, so we'll keep an eye on what Toonford does. I think he's getting himself prepared. Jonathan is on the lap mode, but he's just started that. We've got Twang flying. Wow, that was an incredible shot there through cops there. Brilliant stuff there from Twang. I love that. Amazing stuff. Young Lights, good evening, Sean, and good luck, guys. Emma saying gonna be fun fighting from the back there. Echo gunning for the top 8. Yeah, and also said yeah, it should be Emerson. Granty, well, hello, Shorty. And Harry Shaw, Maldonado's is Matt. Sidle. Oh, Twang's gone off the track there. Oh dear. Yeah, so Twang there just visiting the escapes roads there. Yeah, Harry saying Maldonado is at Matt Sidle. Well, he did win one race, didn't he, back in Spain in 2012, but he was, I think he was more known for his incidents and things like that, really, wasn't he, Maldonado? So I think that's a bit harsh, isn't it? And here comes Twan steaming into the pits, and this is a very long pit lane. I'd hazard a guess, it's a bit of a figure in the air kind of guess, but I'm sure that this pit lane is the longest pit lane of the season, isn't it? So really, that is going to definitely affect your strategy calls, isn't it? And talking of strategy, is it going to be a 1-stop? Is it going to be a 2-stop? Holiday, that'll be a 3-stop. I've got to say, I'm leaning towards more of the 1-stop, really. Look at me, sounding professional. My goodness me, that's going to be completely wrong. Jonathan comes across the line. There's a 27.119 there. Good time there for Jonathan. 6/10 of a second in front of Fireshot, who's just posted a time. Fireshot, I got to say, just having a quick look at his stats from the season. He's had a bit of a miserable start to the season, hasn't he? Fireshot has. So he needs to. I think I'm wondering if this is the race where he can get himself up and ready to go. Then Steve there, I got to say, Steve was looking in all sorts of was looking very good last time out, wasn't he, in Spa, but unfortunately it was not meant to be, was it? As I think he damaged the car and retired, didn't he? Got to say, a week is a long time, isn't it? I can't remember what happened yesterday, let alone a week ago. We've got the Norway Gamer saying that was fun. Sorry, Twang was saying that was fun there. And we've also got Nathan Hughes. Let's try not to kill anyone this week, Emerson. So it's, I think there's a bit of a rivalry. Well, it's not a rivalry. It seems that Emerson and Dan Murphy are like it's like magnetised to each other at the moment. They seem to get in each other's ways. As I was saying, it's like Massa and Hamilton, isn't it? Back in 2011, they just seem to collide with each other. Because they did collide on the Kemmel Straight, didn't they, last week, which is result to Emerson getting a slap on the wrist, and unfortunately starting from the back of the grid there. It was a very competitive part of the race, wasn't it, where there was like 3 cars in the mix there, but unfortunately it didn't go too well, did it, for Dan, who was battling away as well. Another man who hasn't started off the season too well either, Dan Murphy. There's a lot of hard luck stories this season so far. Of course, we have Granty, Emerson and Nigel and Echo doing a very good job at the top, but there's other drivers that probably feel that they've not hit the peaks of their talent just yet, have they? So and here comes Fisher. Here's one man who I'd actually say hasn't reached his heights just yet either this season. He is 27.5 there. He's 4/10 of a second off Jonathan at the moment. So of course, remember we had that community race way back in the summer of last year, I think it was, and of course, remember Fisher won that community race. Of course, we had we had every league in it. We had other leagues as well. I can't remember who they were. So I think we had Monday Night Races in there. We had SNRS, we had of course ALR, and we had someone else as well. Hopefully it'll come to me in a minute. Hopefully someone in the comments could save me on that one. Nigel there, of course, the first ever champion of ALR, comes through the final corner. He's done a 27.156 there. Incredible, look at that. It's nip and tuck there. 400 of a second separates Jonathan and Nigel there. His teammate Guna there just coming out start of that lap as well. And Twag there is, Twag there getting very, very light on the rear there, and coming out of turn 1. Stringy there just coming out of Cops, and Dan Murphy is coming out to complete a lap now. And we've also got Toon Fan out there as well. I should have said this right at the beginning of the broadcast, so I apologise. Of course, we are running slightly late tonight. Of course, we're 5 minutes late. Murphy goes up in the third fastest. Then, of course, Dan Murphy has 3 podiums to have 3 pole positions to his name, doesn't he? And all those 3 pole positions came last season. I think he's the second highest pole sitter in ALR history, and so that just shows that he's just on a bit of blip. He's on a blip in form, isn't he, in his career so far? But I have no doubt that Dan will get back on it as well. Here comes Striggy then. He's cut out to the line as well. Of course, Striggy had an adventurous Belgian Grand Prix, didn't he? He's moved up to 7th faster than the Ferrari at 27.8. There is. I got to say, it's so close, isn't it? Roscoe has done a 28. His first attempt, his second attempt, to 28.4. So he's starting to lower the bar there, Roscoe is, and he's really starting to put the pedal to the metal, isn't he? Emerson's response to Nathan is, "I can't promise anything." Oh dear. Let's just hope they're both like staying well away from each other. Emerson and Dan. And Jonathan asks, how many pole positions has he got? I'm sure Jonathan's got 5, hasn't he? So I take a look at my oh my goodness me! Toon Fan is in the wall. He's in the wall down the hangar straight. That's an almighty shunt. Oh dear, it's coming out of Chapel. I think it was. He put 2. I think he was just you can see. Oh dear, for the Toro Rosso. So that we have lost 4 drivers in qualifying, and luckily Farf is going to be in front of Toon One. It's not looking for Toon there, is it? What a shame there for Toon Fan, and the yellow flags are going to be fluttering on the hangar straight. That is not good at all, is it, for Toon Fan, unfortunately. So the highest is going to be his 15th today. Twang there is still on the medium compound tires mode, just seeing what he can do out there. And Mumford is retired from the session as well. Mumford is in 10th position at the moment in the second Mercedes, making his debut tonight. Mumford is. So I wonder if there's some butterflies in the old stomach there. Going back to what I was saying just before, Toon Fan had a spectacular smash there coming out of Chapel. Is Jonathan is on 4 pole positions. He is not. I think he's not actually the highest pole sitter at the moment. He's a joint highest pole sitter with MWB. It's Jochen who's got the highest pole position at the moment. He's got 5. So can Jonathan tie that today? That has to be. It's all about records here, isn't it? And I wonder if Jonathan can get 5 today, which is of course held by Jochen Wu. Set that way back in season 1. Twang there is down the back straight. Got yellow flags are fluttering in 3, and I can't see where it is on the track map. I think it's one of the Ferraris just trying to come back in the pits. Well, it's the only Ferrari out there, which is Stringy. Twang there just flying through Stowe there. We've also got Gooner out there as well. Coming up then to the final couple of corners now. Here comes car 24, and he is taking a very gingerly through there. Here comes Guna then, our favourite Irishman, the most experienced driver in ALR history. This will be his 40th start in ALR. Fantastic, isn't it? From Guna. He has definitely got the experience now, hasn't he? Guna's been here since Bahrain season 1. Murphy's retired from the session, and Guna coming into the line now. He is in 14th position. He has a real chance of getting out qualifying, doesn't he, Guna? Yeah, so this will be his 40th start here tonight, so that's a huge achievement there. So we've got McLaren right off the track there with Mr. Elite. Samuel is coming out of the loop now, and he is now just coming on the Wellington straight now. DRS enabled, then going slightly wide there, but he is all good at this stage. And we've also got Twang out there as well. And he's just coming over the old start finish straight then, and he's going to throw into Cop's corner now. Then Twang is on board there with the Renault driver. Sam has left the session then, so that's not good at all for Sam. And I was going to say the reason why we are running late is because of Storm. Oh no, what's the storm called? Storm Carl, I don't know. Yeah, because of Storm Carl is here, and of course I think that's why we delayed it, because I think Sam was running late. But unfortunately, Sam is just completely dropped out of the session now, so that's not good at all for Sam. So hopefully he can get himself back in the session. Unfortunately though, I don't think it's enough. Sam is out of qualifying. That's not good at all. So Sam's out qualifying. Is it going to be Twang who's also going to be taking the walk of shame as well? Young Lights is retired. Gunnar is through, I think. So lovely shot. I love this shot on the final corner. It's brilliant stuff. Here comes the yellow rocket. He comes across the line, and he's up in the 12th position. Twannings, and nicely done there from the Renault driver. Gunnar is through on his 40th start. He celebrates it in style by getting through in the Q2. Fantastic stuff from the Irishman. Brilliant stuff. Unfortunately, we have lost Toon, who had a big old smash on the on this hangar straight here. We also lost Farf as well because he has a qualifying ban. Sam was out there till he got disconnected unceremoniously there, and unfortunately for Sam, then he is also out of qualifying. We've also lost Echo and Emerson as well. Emerson will be 20th on the grid, Echo 19th, Sam 18th, Farf 17th, and Toon in 16th position then. And so just on board then with Gunnar as he comes back in the pits then. So that's a good way to celebrate your 40th start, isn't it, for Gunnar? Fantastic stuff then from the Irishman then. We've got Yo flying too. Hopefully it's nothing too untoward going on. Because of course we don't want the AI does seem to like to crash into each other, doesn't it? On board Stringy then, I think this is a lap here from Stringy then. He's trying to get a second lap in now on the soft compound tires. These soft tires have done 3 laps. How do we know that? It's not because I'm Mystic Meg. It's because on the side of the tower there we can see that the laps is done, and Stringy's done 3 laps then. He's coming down the hangar straight now as well then. He's coming into Stowe, which a former Ferrari driver, Mark Schumacher, broke his leg there, didn't he, in a horrific accident back in '99. That was an adventurous race, wasn't it? Of course, Hakkinen also lost his rear wheel there as well, didn't he? Coulthard won that race as well. That's why I remember that race, because of course I was a big fanboy of DC back in the day. So yep, I always remember that one. Matt coming in the pits, and a very good, a very strong performance there from Matt. He's in 6th position at the moment, the Red Bull driver, as he is coming into the pits now. As we got Brandon saying hello. We've also got Toon saying wow, that went well. So we've also got Brandon saying it's a shame I'm not racing, would have won it if it would have been too easy. So yeah, of course, remember Brandon won the race at Abu Dhabi in 5-star, didn't he? And it really, I think it was a beautiful celebration actually of Renault's incredible team of last season, was it, of Brandon. Brandon, I think there was Ultra David in there, sorry, Wishbone in there as well. We also had a Grant in there from round 3 onwards, which I think was in China, wasn't it? So of course Grant was the eventual champion as well. That's why that's why Renault won the Constructors. It was an absolutely incredible season for Renault last season, wasn't it? As we're just on board there with Jonathan, who's decided to take a victory lap of qualifying one then, as he is on pole position by the pole position. Sorry, I've jumped well ahead of myself. He's fastest in Q1 by 400 of a second. The British Italian driver from Nigel, who is the of course who holds the lap record around here, is second at the moment. Then so Jonathan then just coming down the back straight then. And he is looking on it, isn't he? Of course, he said earlier on today he's won a league race already by a dominant margin of 21 seconds, and also yeah, he's feeling as fit as a fiddle. 37 hundredths of a second separates Jonathan and Nigel there. That is nip and tuck, isn't it? Nigel has been revitalised this season, hasn't he? He's been incredible. His consistency has paid off nicely, and of course in Belgium last weekend he caught it right. He caught it absolutely beautiful, didn't he? Threw on the intermediate tyres, and he was away, which ultimately won the race. Bearing in mind that Matt was the first man to go on the intermediate tyres, wasn't he? And if he didn't have a collision near the back of the field, perhaps he would have also benefited from a better result as well then. So as we're going into Q2 now then, and this is I feel like a broken record here, but of course we have new viewers all the time, and that's what we like to see is new viewers, isn't it? So apologies to anyone that knows these rules already, but you know, we gotta go for it, haven't we? As well, before we do actually, we've got a bit of cloud cover overhead there, and that is well, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? I haven't actually heard off Jonathan if it's going to be a wet race or not, or wet qualifying. He's usually on the money with that, but I think I'm wondering if it might just be a dry race there. But of course we had anything but in Belgium. We had all 4 seasons last week, didn't we? We had heavy rain at the start, then we had a bit of light drizzle, and then towards the end of the race it was absolutely beautiful sunny afternoon, wasn't it, in Spa, which is basically standard stuff around the Spa track, isn't it? So we've got a couple of good classic tracks coming on, haven't we? Of course, we start off at Monaco, then we went to Belgium, and now here we're in Silverstone. Next week we're in Hungary as well. Then, so a couple of old school tracks, isn't it, to really test your mettle? And that's and that's beautiful, isn't it? It really is. As we're on board, John, for that, of course, a bit more of the traditionalist tracks, isn't it? Before going on to Australia, to us, that's been the Cadwell since '96 as well. So I would say even that's a traditional track now, isn't it? John from there, of course, then can he get 5 pole position? Can he get his 5th pole position of his career? That is the story of qualifying, isn't it? At the moment, he was heading up the field, wasn't he, in Q1? Can he now keep the momentum going for Q2 and Q3? Well, we'll find out. We'll find out in this session, and of course in the Q3 session as well. And we got Jonathan. I was a 10th up when I went wide on the first corner. So Jonathan still has time in his pocket. And Brandon saying, good job, John. It's looking good. We got Light saying, Team Lights, hashtag JBase. And Jonathan is also confirmed it's a dry race as well. And a lovely over-the-shoulder shot here from the British-Italian driver then. He's coming on the back straight then as well then. And he's about to start his lap then. So of course, Jonathan, you now in terms of now it's strategy time now, everyone. Of course, then we got 3 types of tires around here, 3 types of compound tires. Well, technically 5 in total, but we got the soft, the medium, and the hard tire. And Jonathan is on the medium tires. And you wonder, this is qualifying. So why is he on the second fastest tire then? Well, of course, then if you get into the top 10, you must start on this exact set of tires which you set your fastest time on in this session for the race. Then, so you don't want to like the soft tires might be launching you off the grid like a scalded cat, but unfortunately if they don't last more than a couple of laps, then it's going to absolutely hinder your race strategy, isn't it? You don't want to go too long on the medium or the hard tires. We've got yellow flags, we've got a queue of cars. There's some sorts of shenanigans going on there. Mumford and Mr. Elite getting very close we're getting a bit too close for comfort there as well. Jonathan's gone purple in the first sector. That means he's faster, everyone. In the in Q2 though, of course, all the times have been wiped, so anything you did in Q1 doesn't matter now. Of course, it's all about getting out Q2, and the way you get out Q2 is by qualifying a 10th or higher. Jonathan is the first man out on track now. Let's go on board. Jonathan, he flies through Cop's corner, I should say then. And look at that, just about keep more well within the limits there. Of course, you don't go too wide there because they will it will of course track extensions, which will lead to an invalidated lap then. Coming up then to the DRS, and then of course this is where a Toon fan had a big old smash there. It must have been almighty shut there. Of course, Alonso had a big smash there in 2012 as well, I think, when it was a rain-soaked qualifying session when he drove the Ferrari. Going through Stowe as well, they've drifted up slightly wide, Jonathan there is, but it's still on track, cracking stuff indeed. Now into the final part of that then, yellow flag in 3 then down the hanger straight. I'm not sure if that's a Haas or I think it's a Haas. I think it is. Jonathan comes across the line, he's on a 27.7 there. I got that 6/10 of a second off his soft tyre run, so I got to say that's a pretty phenomenal lap there from Jonathan there. Fantastic stuff indeed. Then we got Mr. Elite there coming down the back straight. We've also got a Haas there who's out there as well. I think it's Steve's actually abandoning the lap and coming in the pits. Those clouds are looking very menacing over there. Well, so we have had it confirmed now it's going to be a dry qualifying and race, but yeah, of course, if anyone remembers, so oh, look at that, that's cracking bit of car control there from Mr. Lee. He comes up to the line and he has done a 28.5 there for the McLaren team. Mr. Lee has had a very strong start to the year, didn't he, in Australia? But unfortunately, since Australia, it hasn't gone too well, has it? But hopefully he can bounce back and get some good results here. Matt has gone third fast when he's 2/10 of a second behind. Young Lights in a second position at the moment in the Red Bull. We've got Fisher out on track at the moment as well. Fisher there flying through him. Twag has gone fastest. He's gone straight onto the soft compound tires and he's done a 27.5 there, 2/10 of a second in front of Jonathan there. Fisher's down the back straight as well. We've also got Murphy out on track as well through the stadium sector there. I think it's coming out of Woodcote there. Now then, we're on board with Fisher then. He comes out of Stowe then. Look at this, and that's a beautiful pit complex now, isn't it? Brilliantly excellent stuff indeed then. Of course, they did all that, I think, back in 2010, where of course there was a lot of rumours going around, but the British Grand Prix going to Donaldson. Fisher third fastest on a 27.9 then. A lot of people are nailing their colours to the mast there for the yellow compound tyres rather than the super red compound tyres. I was going to say super soft then. Murphy has gone purple in the second sector. Yellow flag is fluttering just behind him. Murphy is not going to be interested in that one iota. All he's interested on is that stopwatch in the top right hand side then. He breaks down to third gear then, for tickling the throttle there. You can see then, and now he's coming up then. He's over 100 miles an hour at this stage of the lap then. He comes up the line, he's got second fastest. It's a Renault first and second. And look at that, he's matching his teammates' time. Murphy is on for it today, isn't he? My goodness me. He's very much eager to get this one going, isn't he? Here comes Gunnar coming out of the pits then as well. I think it's Gunnar. No, it's not Gunnar. I tell a lie. Apologies, Gunnar fans. Nigel's cut out the pits there. Granty is just about to start his lap, and so is String as well. So we're on board there with Granty, the champion. It was a bit like how Favre started the season last season, didn't he? Favre had 2 out of 2 wins in Australia and Bahrain. This season, Russia and China, it was Granty. But unfortunately, it has gone a bit awry there. He's got a new helmet as well, I'd say. I'm loving these new design helmets. We've got a couple of artists in the field, haven't we? And Granty there is coming on to start his lap now then. Drop it down into into fourth gear, third gear then, before coming into the loop then, and then we're going to be on the Wellington straight then. Of course, this is a new part of the track there, which was built back in 2011 as well. DRS available, boom, straight away. Very much, the drivers don't even need the beep in the ear anymore, do they? They know exactly where the light is then. And now then he's coming into left field. This used to be a two-part corner, didn't it? Left field. Of course, it used to be left field 1 and left field 2. I think they amended that back in 95, 96 sometime. And now it's just one left field. Now coming into Cops, of course, that was redesigned by Dickman Hill, I think, back in 96. And Granty has gone wide. The track has gone red, which means that he's invalidated his time. So he's going to have to go around again then. So that's not good at all there for the champion, Granty. And he's on this soft, remember, he's on the medium tires. He has to start the race on these tires as well. 7 minutes to go then. This is a longer, well, it's not a longish lap around here. So he has more than enough time to come in and come back out if he wants to change those tires. I wonder what Granty will do. Keep an eye on him on the map. He is coming into the pits, and so no, yeah, sorry, I'm a year behind. We're on board Granty, and I'm not sure what he is coming in the pits then, and he is bolt on a new set of medium tires, I think, unless he wants to go for the hard tires. On board Stringies, he's coming down the hanger straight now as well then. Just feathering the throttle slightly there before coming in, before stamping on the loud pedal once again into the final couple of corners. Now then, Stringy is. Let's see what Stringy do. We've got a whole host of drivers there coming up now. We've just got Roscoe flying across the line there in the Williams there. We've got Stringy coming up to the line now. He's gone 7 fast at 28.3. Good stuff there from Stringy. Roscoe there just cruising out there at the moment. Nigel flying through. Here comes Gunnar then, and let's see what Gunnar could do then in his home Grand Prix. This is for Gunnar, and he's coming up to the line now. Then you can see it's I've got to say it's very murky out there, isn't it? We've got a bit of sunshine, just peeking over the grandstands there, but it's very overcast. It's basically it's a standard weekend. It's a standard weekend here in Silverstone, isn't it? 28.6 there. What about the second racing point driver? Is Nigel here, of course, the 7-time winner of ALR now. He's won in every season he's competed in ALR. He is the most successful driver in history. He comes up to the line and he's gone 4 fast at the moment. Nigel has on a 27.8 there. Good stuff there. I've got to say the two Renault drivers are sitting very pretty at the top of the time sheets. Here comes Steve then, and Steve car 45 accelerating out of left field now, and coming over the old grid hatches there. I think that reminded me of an absolutely brilliant battle that Steve had with another driver, actually. If I just remember that camera angle, it was brilliant side-by-side action. Fantastic stuff, wasn't it? And now coming into look, and that was Roscoe there, just got out of the way there. I gotta say, this complex of corners is brilliant. I think it's only matched to the Suzuka S's, isn't it? In the start of the lap there, it's brilliant, isn't it? And if you get that right, if you get that nailed on, it is an absolutely spectacular feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. It's the best feeling in the world. Steve has gone to talking of beautiful feeling. Steve has gone to the soft tire, so he's gonna have a lot of grip there. Stringy there, just pulling over to one side, and he is going to go around again then. So he's doing a bit of harvesting, so he's going to have another crack. Stringy is then on the medium tires, and I wonder if Stringy's a bit light on tires or something, because he's only used 2 sets so far in both qualifying sessions. Steve has gone into 7 fast mode. Matt has made another appearance, and he's coming out of the pits now, and he's going to go. Gunnar is in the pits then, so Gunnar there is until Gunnar has just come back in the pits then. So Gunnar's keeping on Stringy then. So Stringy then, we're on board with Stringy then, and he is just starting his lap now and coming through the loop then, the Ferrari driver is. So this is second lap on the medium tires. Remember, 5 minutes to go. Remember, he will have to start the tire. If he gets into the top 10, he has to start these tires, or the race on these tires then, and this is an extra lap or 2 on the tires. So yeah, it's a very interesting ploy here from Stringy. I wonder if he's feeling that the tire life around here is not a big deal, and I wonder if he's thinking about going from medium to hard tires. Or perhaps maybe a different strategy as well. Maybe medium to soft. Who knows? He might like to roll the dice. And here comes car 19 and flicking it through the second sector now as well. We've got Tristan saying good evening, Sean. Good evening, Tristan. Hope you are enjoying the coverage tonight on this lovely sunny afternoon. And to us, there's nowhere place to be, especially with a storm. Is it Katrina? I think it's Katrina. Oh, and a street there is. I'm not sure if he. I think he tried to. Counter the understeer there, or counter the oversteer there, and he almost. Let's just say it was almost in the hedge there, but luckily brilliant car control there from Stringy, and he is on his way as well. Grant there has just started his lap then in the Williams and the champion. He's gone purple in the first sector. Yeah, as I was saying, yeah, with the storm, I think it's Storm Katrina actually, isn't it? Not Carl. Well, I don't know who Carl is. But here comes Grant there. Yeah, so yeah, it's the best place to be, isn't it? On a Sunday evening, just wrapped up with whatever. A cup of tea, cup of coffee, a cup of hot cocoa. I don't know. As my choice of drink tonight is a 2-liter bottle of water, as I get very sweaty talking about cars going around in circles. So yeah, either I'm very unhealthy or get too excited. Granty there. Let's see how excited he's getting at the moment. He's very calm in the cockpit, isn't he? And he is down the back straight now. He's got purple in the second sector as well. Granty, this is looking very good indeed there. Of course, Granty has already had a pole position this season, hasn't he? Back in Spa, and in his entire career, I think that's only a second pole position there for Granty then. So qualifying is not exactly his strongest point, but of course it doesn't really matter, does it, for Granty, because he is the champion, isn't he? He ain't got to be too worried about qualifying, is he? Because a couple of times last season he was more on the back foot. He's gone third fastest in the end there from Granty on a 27.7 at 2/10 of a second off Murphy, who was just in front of him. Then we got 3 minutes to go. Then Granty's out, is kind of out of sync at the moment, isn't he? But I think that should be safe. Anyone in 28, I feel might be a bit nervous. Then Young Lights come back in the pits as well. So we've got an absolute clear track out there at the moment, as we're on board then with Young Lights, and that's more of a Montoya helmet, isn't it? A bit of chrome helmet there. I love it. Is that Young Lights coming in the pits now then? Yeah, so it's a bit of a low on track at the moment. So surely, you might be thinking that surely the drivers would just want to go out on track now and get their lap in. Well, that's not how they work, because they want the best of the track conditions, don't they? They don't want to go out where the track it's not in the absolute peak condition, is it? At the moment, the track is not in peak condition, because the more cars go out, the more Pirelli rubber it lays down. It gets quicker and quicker, doesn't it? Track evolution is quite a big thing, isn't it, in this game and the last game as well. I thought it was a bit of nonsense, really, about track evolution, but my goodness me, it's really not. So yeah, it is about track evolution, isn't it? So the later you leave it out, the best the track conditions you have as well. But unfortunately, there's a double-edged sword to this. Of course, if you do leave it later, then of course you might trip over someone who is also on lap as well. Farshot hasn't set a time yet, so Farshot is also out there as well. So we keep Farshot is in the second sector. So Mr. Elite is on up the road at the moment. Farshot unfortunately has had a bit of a dreadful start to the season, hasn't he? He's had 3 DNFs and only 1 point finish back in China. Murphy and Jonathan have retired from the session. They're parked in the garage then, so I think they've put their feet up now. Golem Magazine got the latest version of Auto Sport out, I think, and they're just going to enjoy themselves. As I said, anyone in the 27.7s I feel probably be quite happy with that. So Young Light, Steve, Matt and Stringy will probably see out, plus the remaining 5 drivers as well, as we're just watching Mr. Elite get themselves going away as well. Twang just said 4/10 away from our best Q1 time there, so yeah, Twang's really starting to really, yeah, that was a good lap there from Twang, wasn't it, in the Renault. We've also got Jonathan saying really very friendly gesture there, saying good lap there for Grant there. Of course, I'm not a friendly person. I would be a bit like, I'll probably, would I be racing Grant? Nope, I don't think I'll even be able to. I don't think I'll hold a counter then, these guys. So, yep, that's... but, yeah, I'm just a friendly person. Anyway, Mr. Elite then, who is in 11th position at the moment. 28.5 at the moment there for the McLaren driver. Can he get into Q3? At the moment, the target time to get through is 2/10 of a second. He's got to up it by. But the question is Grant is also retired from this session as well. But I think the track, the bar is going to come down. I think that anyone in the 28s is going to be very nervous out there. Young Lights is out there as well. So Fisher has retired. Nigel's finished as well. So is Jonathan, Granty and Murphy. They're all confident that they're going to get through into Q3. But we'll find out momentarily as well. Twang's also retired from the session as well. So 7th below then. This is going to be a battle royale, isn't it? And of course, we do all have a good battle royale, don't we? Mr. Elite is on an outlap apparently. I thought he was on a fast lap. I think he is on a fast lap. I hope so anyway. Well, I hope he is anyway for me, because I'm completely not an idiot. He's coming up to Stone now, and look at the background. There is Farshot, who's going to have his first attempt now. The checker flag is fluttering. I think I'm out of sync though. So oh, Mr. Elite is in the pits. So Mr. Elite has abandoned that run. He is in the pits. Mumford is out on track at the moment. Farshot is going to come through and complete a time now. Then Farshot, can he get his championship off to a start here today? He comes up to the line. line. This should be enough. It is enough. He is through into a 2010. Oh, I love that shot from Young Lights. Brilliant stuff there. Good camera work. Matt is on a lap at the road. So we got Stringy who's invalidated his lap. I think Stringy might be done. I think Stringy might be done in this race. We're on board then with Mumford in front of us. I think it's Matt. So we'll come to Matt. We are coming to Matt. He's gone purple in the second sector. He is on the soft compound tires. The Red Bull driver is. He's coming up to the line now. Then we're on board then with Matt. Let's see what he can do then. Young Lights and Steve apparently. Oh yeah, well Steve's in the pits and I think Young Lights is out there. So Steve is going to be sweating in that pit lane. I think he is coming to the line. Matt is through and up in the 7th position. Then good stuff then from the Red Bull driver. Stringy comes through and that is it then. Well, that was a bit, I've got to say that they caught me off guard there. I didn't expect the qualifying session to finish so quickly because they was all bunched up together. So, at the end of that then, yeah, at the end of that then, I was caught well off guard then. Unfortunately, we've lost Roscoe, we have lost Gunnar, Mr. Elite, Stringy and Steve have all, unfortunately, bowed out of this session there, as at times was just not enough, unfortunately. So, going through then, Mumford, on his debut in ALR, is right in the thick of it, and he is through into Q3. Fantastic stuff, congratulations. We got Lights who's through as well. Fisher, Matt is also through. We got Fireshot, Nigel, Jonathan, Granty, and the two Renault boys right up there. Good stuff. That's what I was expecting from the Renault team, wasn't it? Unfortunately, their constructor's position doesn't really make you for good reading at the moment, does it? So yeah, as Jonathan echoed that as well. Fair play to Mumford. Brilliant stuff, Ben. We're now going to go into Q3, everyone. So this is going to be it then. If you love fast cars, I assume that's why you're here. This is going to get very interesting indeed. Then they're going to be flying through this beautiful Northampton Shire circuit then. And again, there's still a bit of cloud cover out there, isn't it? But it's been threatening, but that's about it then. So luckily, the rain gods have stayed away, and this is what we want. We want a completely dry qualifying session then, because we want action. We want to see these guys go out for at least 2 attempts at that pole position then. Who is going to be on pole position then for the British Grand Prix? We'll find out in just a few moments. Well, we'll find out in about 12 minutes' time. So I had to wet my whistle there. Anyway, as you can, we got a queue of cars there coming out, and we're just seeing Fisher coming out. We got Murphy out there as well. We've also got Jonathan, who is usually very keen man to get out there, and he is the first man on track then. Car 25 in the Alfa Romeo then. Let's see what he can do then. Everyone is out on track at the moment apart from Young Lights, and Twang is not out there either, nor is Mumford, Fireshot or Matt, who is all just sat in the pits at the moment then, as it stands, and he's coming down the back straight now then. So at the moment, in terms of pole positions this season, Jonathan's had 2 pole positions to his name. We've had a pole position for Emerson and also a pole position for Granty. So it's anyone. So all the Emerson's not in this qualifying session, but Grant and Jonathan are, and I think that's Fisher there. He's really keen to get by Jonathan here. He really is. He's going to overtake him there into Stowe. Oh my goodness, we've got a bit of racing already. I think Fisher's getting himself really revved up, ready for the racer, isn't he? Of course, Fisher. We know he's a very good out in qualifying. Oh, what's that? I think that's rain, is it? Possibly. There's something dropping from the sky. It is rain then, so we have got rain. Everyone needs to be out on track now then. So that is why Fisher is trying to get by, because he wants the best of the track conditions. Now this is completely thrown a spanner in the works then. 10 minutes to go then. Unfortunately from our point of view, we're just going to have a one and done deal. I think it depends on how much this rain comes down, but this definitely caught me out. I wonder if it's caught the drivers out. I highly doubt it. They're much more on the ball than I am. We're on board Fisher then, so he is going to be the first one to cross the line then. All pressures on all these drivers. It's like one-shot qualifying back in the 2003, 4 and 5 seasons. This is going to be good stuff indeed then. Fisher then peeping over the top of the hill then, and here we go then. So this is it then for Fisher. Can he get his first pole position this season? In terms of his all-time pole position, Fisher has had a couple already to his name, and he's got 2 pole positions under his belt already. So can he make it a hat-trick here today then? He's come down the Wellington straight now in the Toro Rosso. There's Jonathan just behind him, and I think Jonathan had to back off a bit because he was too close to Fisher, wasn't he? So that is not going to help Jonathan's quest for getting his 5th pole position of his career then. So how bad is the rain then? It is well, it's heavier than it was around this time on the track last time, because I only noticed it coming up to Maggots, wasn't it? So he comes up here into Cops now, flying through Cops there. Look at that, he didn't even touch the brakes, Fisher didn't. That's incredible stuff, isn't it? Commitment of the highest order. And now then there's, oh look at this, we're on board with him now then. Look at the steering wheel, how crisp is that? That is incredible stuff. DRS still able there, but that's a lot of rain coming down now. I think that this is definitely what a done deal. What a shame for us, and what a shame for you guys at home. And unfortunately, you got to hear me natter now for 6 odd minutes. And Fisher coming up then through Stowe now, and now he's coming into the final couple of corners. And what can Fisher do then? Is I think that this is going to be the yellow flag and 2. Twang is off the track. That is coming out. That's coming out. Cops and Fisher is on pole position at 28.4 for Fisher. Jonathan has taken pole position. Then he is his 5th pole position. So far, Grant is in 1st position. Nigel's in 4th position. Murphy is only 5th then in the Renault. We've got Mumford there coming through. Then we've got 2 Red Bulls behind him as well. Look at them drifting. That's how greasy the track is. Mumford is coming up to the line now, and he has gone in 6th position. Young Lights is coming to the line. He's 6th position, and he's displaced the Mumford. Matt is gone into 8th position. Then Farshot is coming to the line now as well. Let's see what he can do. He is coming up to the line, and Farshot's gone 6th fast. That's his best position of the season so far. Car 66. Good stuff indeed. Not what good stuff is Twang, who's going to be in 10th position, as he is unfortunately he has visited the hedge, hasn't he? So Twang has coming out of Cops, so that's a shame now for the Renault driver, because Twang, remember, was was fastest in Q2 as well. So both Renault drivers having a bit of a disaster Q3, isn't it? I'm wondering, I think it's too wet now to go out there again, isn't it? So that's unfortunate. That's an anticlimactic end to qualifying. And anyone that remember, you get a new set of soft boots, don't you, in this qualifying session? So so it encourages more people to go. But anyone who saved their soft tires ready for Q3, well, that's basically all been in vain now, because of this wet weather. So that's a shame now indeed. We're on board then with the man who is currently on pole for the 5th time in his ALR career. Can anyone displace Jonathan? That is going to be the question as well, as he's also turned into the world's most expensive lawnmower, as just cutting the grass there for the Silverstone officials. So Jonathan is on pole for the 5th time. This will be his 3rd time this season as well. Remember last season, we did say that we was quite surprised at the lack of times Jonathan was on pole, because he is very much a one-lap specialist, isn't he? But this season he's really putting that right, isn't he? And he's now joint top pole sitter in ALR history. There's that Dan Murphy, who's on 3 pole positions in his ALR career. Could have, if he got pole position, he would have joint been 2nd there with Jonathan there as they come down the back straight then. So well done to Jonathan. He is currently on pole position at the moment. Twang said it was a bit slippery of that corner, and Grant also saying damn you rain as well. So Grant, he unfortunately is on front row. Fisher thinks it's all done and dusted, isn't he? Got to say, Jonathan had a cracking lap as well, because he was behind Fisher on the track, yeah, but Jonathan still got that pole position lap. Brilliant stuff indeed. And just watching the pole sitter then just roll it back in the pit, so you can see that car's on tick over, isn't he? Really is. That just shows how lightly fueled these guys are, isn't it? They're basically running on fumes, aren't they, for the qualifying session? And we've got a Mercedes driver there who is also coming into the pits. Well, Mumford 8th position on his debut for the Mercedes team. Well done to Mumford. Remember, he didn't know he was racing until about a couple of minutes before the race. So fantastic stuff from Mumford. So brilliant stuff there, and well done indeed then. So unfortunately that's it. And I was saying all the way through qualifying how menacing the clouds were, but wow, they were more than threatening. There was definitely some moisture coming out of the air now, and that's a huge shame for us. It really is, because I was looking forward to seeing I was looking forward to having a couple of goals there at qualifying, as Matt there is coming. I think he's coming out of the pits. He is coming out of the pits. So Matt's going to have another crack at this end, and this is good stuff indeed. That Matt at the moment is well, technically he hasn't got nothing to lose. Well, he hasn't got nothing to lose, has he? He's in 9th position at the moment. Can he get 2/10 of a second? He needs to find 2/10 of a second to get in front of Mumford. He needs to find 5/10 of a second, half a second to get in front of his teammate Young Lights as well. And whoa, it is a very slippery out there. He's spun around already there, and I wonder, it might be an almighty lap, might be a Charles Leclerc-esque lap, mightn't it, from Brazil? So we'll keep an eye on Matt with as he's coming through now. But that is, I gotta say, that's a very greasy old track there, isn't it? There's no spray coming off the Red Bull yet, but it's not looking good there. Matt straight keeping a straight line then. As I just I've missed a lot of comments here. As we're just as Toon is saying, Matt, it's too slippery, it's too wet. Surely, Striggy, if I had £1 for every in-lap John has run out fuel, I'll be a rich man. yeah. As we say, that Jonathan there was literally was on tickover, wasn't he, coming into the pit? He was basically limping home there, was he, for the rest of the lap there. Fantastic, it really is. That's good, expertly judged as well then. So we're on board there with Matt then. So is he going to have another. He's going to carry on his quest to see if we can get into 8th position there. At the moment, he's on the 5th row. Matt is in the Red Bull currently in terms of. So unfortunately, in terms of the this is his second qualifying appearance in Q3. As John for saying, my 50 million lawnmower car, yeah, yeah. But he was just cutting the grass coming out of Cop's head. But Jonathan there, it doesn't really matter though, does it really? It's Sam is back in the session, which is absolutely splendid news for us and for Sam as well. Then, so Matt is going to go for it. We got 3.5 minutes to go. Then let's go on board with the Red Bull driver then, shall we? With his and he's already struggling as well. Then, so I think it might be too wet, but of course I think it's going to be interesting. I think the map might be doing us a favour here though, because of course he's showing us of how difficult the track can be from wet to dry. Look at that! Look at all the understeer it's got there, and that's an absolutely beautiful drift there. But unfortunately, he's in the wall. He's in the wall there, and he's also so that's a shame there for Matt. But yeah, look at that! It's incredible, isn't it? How much the rain just affects the track conditions, doesn't it? I don't think he was at full throttle really, but he was just drifting out. Look all the water coming up from under the cars, under the tires now, as the Rolex get absolutely demolished there. Which is a shame then for Rolex, but not for us there. John Toon saying typical British weather. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Got typical Belgian weather, and now typical it's typical Silverstone weather, isn't it? Of course, even in the summer you expect a rain shower or three, don't you? We've also got Jonathan saying if you want your lawn doing with my 50-mile lawn, you know where to find me. And of course Fisher saying well done, Jono, as well. So yeah, Jonathan getting on pole position then for his 5th time in his ALR career. That is absolutely splendid stuff there from Jonathan. That's his 3rd pole position of the season, his 5th in total. Wow, brilliant stuff indeed there from Jonathan then. So he is now the joint highest pole sitter in ALR history of 5, and that's that's nothing to sneeze at, is it? We got less than 2 minutes to go then, and we'll be getting going in. Twang and a far shot has asked if he can retire from the session, but I think Matt just enjoyed himself out there, isn't he? But I think Twang and far shot are eager to get going in this race. And we've also got Darren saying evening all. Good evening, Darren. I hope you're enjoying this this spectacle of a race, which will be a spectacle. Oh, so Matt there is just showed us a new way of getting around the Maggotts and Beckett's section there. And that's a much quicker way of getting around there, isn't it? So I don't think, as Jonathan has confirmed, there's no rain in the race then, which is good for us, I think, because I think that sometimes the rain does take away the spectacle of the race in general, doesn't it? Albeit, I think last race in Belgium, it was an absolutely fantastic race, wasn't it? Really brilliant stuff indeed there. Of course, this man Matt was thought the conditions changed there, and he did go on the intermediate tyres all straight away, didn't he? Now I think that if that intermediate core, if he didn't have an incident, I think Matt probably would have got on the podium possibly in Belgium. That was the advantage of being on the right tyres at the right time. Unfortunately, Matt is not on the right tyres at the right time at the moment, as he comes back into the pits then. So and Nathan has just asked, is the race rain because our boy Emerson seems to do alright in the rain? Never mind. Sorry Nathan, I cut you off on your prime there, didn't I? Yeah, so there's no, I don't think there's any rain in the race, but who knows, anything could happen then. Jonathan has confirmed yet. Pole number 5, he is pleased that, as I said, he is now joint on 5 pole positions with a Yokin. So brilliant stuff, a brilliant achievement there from Jonathan then. So the joint most successful pole sitter in ALR history then, in season 3 then. And you can see then the rain is starting to come down then, and the umbrellas are up there for qualifying. But as the time ticks down then, we'll be ready for the race then in just a few moments then, here in Silverstone in Britain, I think it is. It is in Britain, isn't it? And there's the final. Look at that there. It's a 10th of a second between Jonathan and Fisher. And then that is the first row. That's a really juicy front row as well. Can Fisher get himself going then for this season? And of course, at the moment, Fisher hasn't got any points so far, has he? Granty, of course, has got a lot of points. He's leading the challenge from Nigel in 4th position with Dan in 5th. Can he have a clean race, Dan? Same with Fireshot in 6th position. Lights in 7th with Mumford on his debut in 8th position. Fantastic stuff. 9th was Matt in the end, and 10th position was Twang as well. Didn't get a time in as unfortunately there. He was on the inside of Cops there. Unfortunately, the Renault drivers. So there's a lot of names that needs a good result today, doesn't it? Of course, Twang is one of them. Dan's another. We've also got Fisher needing a good result today. Fireshot as well. It's incredible, isn't it? all these big names that have had a bit of a stuttering start to the season, isn't it? It really is. It's incredible how much it changes from season to season, isn't it? Of course, this is our third season in ALR now. As Dan has left the session there, so hopefully Dan will come back in, and hopefully Dan will come back in a minute then. But yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? How it's incredible how it like varies from season to season. Of course, it's the first time in ALR that we're having the same season on the same game. So of course, first season we had 2018, then the second season was of course the 2019. And the first season is also on 2019 as well, so you're expecting it to go faster, and maybe all the established names to also improve as well. But it just shows that the field has really caught up, hasn't it? It really has, and there's been a lot of big improvers this season, isn't it? Of course, I keep mentioning Sam in the last two races has been fantastic. I really do hope that Diddy is back in. That is fantastic news. Dan is back in the session, and hopefully he can get control of his car. Then we got 26 laps around this beautiful Northamptonshire circuit. And the sun is, we're at dusk here today, and it's an absolutely lovely, a splendid venue for the race, isn't it? Of course, the oldest Grand Prix in Formula 1, well, almost the oldest, if not the oldest, on the Formula 1 calendar. And where else would you want to be here on the Sunday night? I don't know where else I want to be. I really don't. So really good stuff indeed. Then as Tristan has just said, nice up there from Jono. Of course, as I said, five pole positions now for Jonathan. And let's go through the grid, shall we? And I've got to say, there's a lot more soft compound tyres out there than I expected, so this is very interesting, isn't it? It just shows how much I know. I don't know enough. I thought the guys would stay away from the soft tyres. Maybe, but then again, yeah, I know absolutely nothing. Anyway, pole position for the 5th time, as we keep reiterating, but it is a mammoth achievement. Jonathan on pole position. Fisher is alongside him. That's row run. Granty is in 3rd position, and Nigel in 4th position. It's a champion's 2nd row there. Fantastic. Fireshot in 5th position. 6th position is 7th position is Lights, with Mumford in 8th position. Matt is in 9th position. Twang is 10th. Steve is in 11th position, with Stringy in 12th position. Mr. Elite in 13th. Gooner in 14th, on his 40th race start for Gooner. So that is an incredible achievement there for Gooner. Fantastic stuff. Roscoe is 15th. We got Toon Fan in 16th position. Farf is 17th. We got Sam in 18th position. 19th position is Echo, and Emerson is last. And we don't have Dan on the grid there, which is a bit of a worry. Now I'm hoping he'll be on the grid in the near future. Soft, well, it's split down the middle, so we got half the grid on medium, half the grid on soft tires. So that is going to be very interesting indeed. Then keep an eye on those soft runners. They'll be flying off the grid, don't they? Turn 1 is very interesting. It's I gotta say, it's very difficult turn 1, isn't it? That's not really a breaking point, is there? And I'm really concerned here because I can't see Dan's car, which is absolutely, this is going to rob us and Dan of a race today, and that is not good at all. I can't see him in there. Not good. As Darren just said, first corner though, definitely. And I think we have been robbed of. I'm hoping that Dan will appear on the grid momentarily, and then we'll be getting ready to go. He has not, unfortunately. 5 sets of lights are on. We'll be racing now, and it is going. It is go now. It will be go. Of course, this is our traditional. There's a Mercedes in the back. It's pointing the complete wrong way. But we're waiting for a drive-through penalty for Echo. He's gone, and now we're go here. And look, Echo there is he's had an appalling start there. Jonathan is leading it. So then let's see. As a Matt has moved on competition there. That's Grant to go one. Grant, he's on the inside. I think a Fisher of going into turn 1, but he'll be on the outside there as he comes into turn 3. Look at that, wheel to wheel then. And then Grant, that's a car around the track. It's Haas. I think it's a Haas car that's off the track as they come through the loop then, and there's a yellow flag in one. Then it's someone has been left behind. I think, who is it? It's a Ferrari, and Stringy has been left behind then. So they come, oh, that's a McLaren right off in the background there. My goodness me, I think that was Gooner there, just having an adventurous line there. Nigel's got by Granty and up into 3rd position there. Granty's gone wide there. It looks off the inside, far shot, and oh my goodness, he snips off the nose cone there of Murphy, of Mumford there, as they come out of Lovefield, I think it was. And look at this as they come. Oh my goodness me! Oh no! Lights is off into the gravel. Lights. Oh my goodness me! And somehow they avoid him. Emerson is out of it. There's some smash in the background. Oh, there's a severe crash, and Emerson is out of the British Grand Prix. Oh no! This is a terrible start here. The virtual safety car then. Virtual safety car, and I think Farf was involved in that, but he hasn't got damage to his Ferrari, but he does have a penalty, I think. Echo having a jump start. Mr. Lee's damaged his car, and we've got Lights who was off as well. So Oh, it's all gone pear-shaped then. First safety car then as we try and get some order in this race then. And wow, look at that. Twang is in the pits then, so we're going to have a lot of pit activity then. Mumford's on a cracking start here, isn't he? Oh, 5-second penalty for Twang then. It's gone so wrong, hasn't it, for the Renault cars. We've lost down already in this race, and now we've got Twang in the pits as well. A 5-second penalty. Echo's got 10 seconds worth of penalties after one lap as well. And Sam has gone into the back. I think it's a first safety car still there. Sam, I think, has just gone to the back of Echo as well as they come into the pits with green flag here. With green flag back at the British Grand Prix then. We're on board Nigel then, who's just keeping tabs then on this battle for the lead then. Fisher to the front of us now then as they come down the hang straight. Look at that debutant. Look at Fireshot. He's in there as well. Fireshot's out of look. He's out of look then as he wants to get his season off to a start as well as they come down then as they've got a yellow flag and Gunnar is out of the race. Gunnar is out of the race, and where has he gone off? And he's out at the loop. He's out of the loop Gunnar is then. So Gunnar is out of the race on his 40th race starting ALR. That is not good at all then. Oh no, it's absolutely appalling stuff. Gunnar is left for session and this has gone appallingly bad then. We've lost 3 drivers already in this race then. Murphy, who didn't take the start, Emerson and Gunnar out of the race as well. So oh, look at that, that's an incredible shot as well. And look at the debutant, look at him, he's had a fantastic race out there. So Roscoe's moved up 6 positions, brilliant stuff as well. Unfortunately, Twang has dropped down 5 positions. That is the position changes then as it starts the moment. So we've had pit stop activity for a couple of drivers. And Mr. Leach has got by Farfar's got by Mr. Leach then on board with Nigel. I've also got Young Lights there who's just flown by Roscoe, but Roscoe's got to go back. I mean, under Young Lights and Roscoe going side by side then. Jonathan's at the fast side, but Fisher, where it's on board. Roscoe's got the outside. That's an incredible. Sorry, scream there. Roscoe is up the outside. That's a fantastic move. Yellow flag in the background. What's going on there? That's a Ferrari. That's a Ferrari. That's Stringy, who's I think not sure if he's had an adventure or not then. And Matt has set the fast on the race. Well, Jonathan's now, the gap is down to 6/10 of a second. This is the battle for the lead then. As Young Lights is gone. Young Lights has had a big smash there. That's Stringy's off as well. Stringy's off as well. Virtual safety car. It's a turn 1 there. And some awful problems out there at the moment, aren't they, here in Silverstone? My goodness me. It's incredible out here, absolutely incredible. And yes, my voice is going to break a bit. Absolutely another virtual safety car, 2 virtual safety cars in the Toon has been given a 3-second penalty as well. We've had 2 virtual safety car in 3 laps there as we'll get, because lovely, look at that then as they fly through Copside. That's a beautiful shot then. So at the moment they're keen to a delta moment, so they got to stick to the to the reference on their dashboard, or of course on the telemetry on the right hand side then, so they cannot go over that delta, but they get a penalty then on board then. So we're on board with Fisher then, who's second moment, Nigel, Granty and Farshot. It's good to see Fisher and Farshot back up there, isn't it? It's great to see the debutant Mumford just absolutely settling in beautifully well at the moment, isn't he? Doing a very good job in 6th position there. The back race here in Silverstone, and we're back on it then. So there's the leader, Jonathan then, who is just in front of us at the moment there, and Fisher then, who is going to be keeping tabs there on the on this lead then as well as they come for the complete lap 3 then. Jonathan leads at Fisher second, Nigel's in 3rd position, followed by Granty and Fireshot 4th and 5th. Mumford is just a second back, and then we've got a 5-second deficit between Mumford and Steve in 6th and 7th position. And Matt is keeping tabs with Steve, with Roscoe and Toonfan 9th and 10th. Those are the points center at the moment. Young Lights out of the race. We've also lost Gunnar, Emerson and Dan out of the race as well. I feel so sorry for Dan there, because really he's done the qualifying part and then unfortunately wasn't able to take part in the actual race itself. Lovely shot here from the steering wheel as Stringy's got a 5-second penalty there for the speed in the pits there. Stringy out on a very difficult start to this race. So Farf has moved up to 11th position, and remember Farf usually is an expert of coming back from the field, isn't he? He seems to he doesn't seem to like qualifying a lot, doesn't he? He seems to just enjoy coming back through the field, doesn't he? Fisher is now starting to home in on Jonathan. Look, there's a bit of a gap there between Fisher and Nigel in 1st and 2nd. Now Nigel's dropped out of DRS then already in this race. So yeah, it looks like this could be a 2-horse race. We're on board there with Fisher. He's got the bit between his teeth, hasn't he? Remember, these guys are on the medium compact tires, so they're going to have a they've got more of a window there to really determine when to go in the pits there. And DRS is available. Look at this, and he's gaining. Jonathan has got on the inside. Fisher's going to go on the outside. He's going to swoop on the outside. Jonathan then breaking much there. Oh, they've come together. He's forced the Taurus away. And now Nigel is on the inside. Then Nigel's on the inside. He is on the inside. He's going to go for it. Oh my goodness me! Look at that. That's incredible action. Brilliant camera work now. I love that. Now it's not going to go up and under. It's very difficult around there. Jonathan's at the fast on the race. But look at them all. It's incredible. It's a 5-car battle for the lead here in the British Grand Prix then, as they fly through turn 1 and 2 then. That's where we've seen a lot of drivers that are really struggling. Jonathan then is full Grant who's got on the inside then, and then Farshot is just keeping tabs. I remember Farshot and Fisher have had a appalling start to the season and really want to just really capitalise on this race, and they're doing a cracking job both in 2nd and 5th respectively at the moment. Fantastic stuff, and coming down the Wentworth straight then, just keeping an eye on what's going on then. Look at this is incredible stuff, isn't it? This is the battle for the lead here in the British Grand Prix. Absolutely fantastic stuff, isn't it? As Mumford is dropping back, he's 3 seconds back now from the Mercedes, from this 5-car battle. We've also got Matt also battling with Steve as well in the 7th and 8th position as well. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all in the same shot then. And wow, look at them all. They're lined on third, and this is going to get very interesting indeed, isn't it? We'll go to the strategy in a minute as well. Of course, we're only on lap 5 there. I think it's a bit too early to think about strategy for the medium compound runners. Farshot, that's his first penalty of the event now. And Matt and Steve are going side by side through Maggots and Beckett, and now through Chapel, and Matt is on the inside, is he? Steve is gonna be on the outside. Ron Bohr, Steve, and look at this, it's a drag race going down the hangar straight there. Look at this, they're wheel to wheel, almost touching. It's incredible. He's on the outside. Does he stay on the outside? Yes, he is still on the outside. He is still in 7th position. Look, Roscoe's also getting involved as well. This is an incredible battle, isn't it? And look, Matt is swooped on the outside. That is absolutely incredible racing there. Brilliant stuff. I love that. That's amazing. But Steve there is not giving up though, is he? And we've also got the battle for the lead as well. I don't know who to look at. It's incredible stuff. They fly through turn 1 and 2 now, and they go over the crest of the hill then. Brilliant stuff. We're keeping on that as well, because I think that is going to be a race on battle, isn't it? Brilliant stuff. That was incredible bravery from both guys. Incredible driving. Jonathan there is is really under the cosh here, isn't he, at this moment, right? Let's see then, can Jonathan absorb the pressure that this is going to be this is the most pressure then that anyone's going to have when they're in the lead of the race around Silverstone. And they've got the likes of Fisher, 2 champions as well, of Nigel and Granty, and Farshot as well, all former race winners in ALR, all battling away then for this for the honour of being the winner of the British Grand Prix season 3. We're on board there with Nigel then, and he's the 3rd car in this train at the moment. He will have DRS then. DRS is available now as well then, so he is you can see he's turning up then, isn't he? I wonder if he's going to have a little look there into Fisher there as well, and they're all gaining then. And look, Fisher there is starting to become really menacing behind Jonathan at the moment there, isn't he? Lovely on board shot here with the front wing of Fisher. Now into the second to last corner, and Jonathan there is I think he's ain't going to be too worried about this. It's going to be going down the Wen straight and then the Hangar straight as well. Those are the 2 places where Jonathan's going to be feeling a bit vulnerable there, isn't he? As I think of Roscoe, and now we got round 2 in there. Steve there's just it's Roscoe on the outside of Steve, and he is up through and past Stephen and moved up into 9th position. Then we've got now Toonfan and Farf has also started to bear down on them as well then, and it's really good stuff there, isn't it? I'm trying to decide on who to watch. It's brilliant stuff, isn't it? 3/10 of a second, the gap is 2/10 of a second. Look, Fisher is gaining. He is gaining. Oh, you have a look at this. Where is he? There he is. And as they come down the one straight, and getting there. This is great stuff, isn't it? And they come through left field then, and look at them. Well, there's 5 cars. It's just 5 cars in this battle for the lead. It's incredible stuff, isn't it? Going over the old start finish straight as well. Jonathan there is still. That's what a 10th of a second looks like in a Formula 1 car. It's absolutely incredible stuff, isn't it? Jonathan's got a 3-second penalty. That might come back to haunt him later on the race. Farshot and Jonathan are the 2 men with the penalties in this gaggle of 5 cars at the moment. And yeah, penalties is definitely a part and parcel of league racing. Back on board Fisher then. And let's see, look at that. The yellow bar is the amount of verse he's got then. And the white bar is, look at this, Jonathan has got defensive. Fisher's on the outside. Jonathan is staying on the inside. He's pretty much there. Fisher's got white there. Where's Nigel? He is still, he wasn't there to strike yet. He's having a look then, but Yeah, nothing at the moment then. And I'm amazed of how no one's drone into the back of him. And look at that, we're waiting for it to come around now. Here are the leaders. Look at them. Jonathan Fisher, Nigel Granty, and Farshot. I think it was. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It was Nigel. I think they was just gone completely wide there, wasn't it? In the in the racing point. Oh, Granty there. Where did he come from? He just came out of nowhere. There was some damage on the cars. No, they're all good. Oh, there and now I think it was just a bit of a love tap there, but yeah, that was incredible how he came from nowhere. Grant was his Grant there. I think he's weaving there. I'm wondering if we're Fisher now. And look there, going into oh, look at this, he's gonna go on the outside, and now he's in left field. He's on the outside. Then Jonathan, I think we'll just run him out to dry. We'll just hang him out to dry on the outside there. So that's probably not a good idea to not a good idea at all to I'll overtake over there now. Coming up to oh, look, he's got the inside. He's got the inside. They make contact. They make contact going into close. Oh no! They make more contact. Fisher is just trying to come back on the track. He's still in second position at the moment, but he's just parked in front of Nigel. They did make contact there, a slight contact there between Jonathan and Fisher in the battle for the lead. We got a yellow flag. It's also McLaren, I think, who is just on the veg zone, just coming up into the loop, then back on board then with Nigel. And Jonathan now. I wonder if Jonathan's gonna. Oh, is that Jonathan now? I thought that Jonathan was very slow down the back straight, wasn't he? No pit stops yet at the moment, and that includes the soft tires as well. So that just shows that my strategy is completely out the window. So yeah, don't completely ignore me. I wonder if they're thinking about going from medium to soft tires then. Look at this, they're coming for the grid. Hatches Granty now is pulling out from underneath, and as they fly through turn one. Nigel's run wide. Granty's going on the inside. They're swinging, they're banging wheels, are rubbing wheel. And Granty there is still in full position. I gotta say, we had rubbish camera angles there, didn't we? I didn't really want to be on board. I want to be off board on that instant. And now then, as we come into the one straight once again, then my goodness me, I kind of want. Oh, it's Nigel's got. So at the moment, it's just Granty and Fisher, the only two that haven't got penalties so far in this gaggle of 5 cars battling for lead. And yeah, whoa. Oh, that is an absolute intent. That Farfus moved in front of Steen now up into a 9th position, and so Farfus in the points then, and it's having a very good. It's having a very good day at the moment. Really good stuff. Really good stuff in this battle for lead. Then I apologise, guys. I've been completely ignoring you in the comments. I'm too scared to look down because anything's going to happen. Anything can happen in this battle for lead. Then brilliant stuff indeed. Then. So we just seen Darren saying bad luck, Emerson. Zaki saying more exciting than actual F1. Oh, look at that! Look at them kicking up the grass there. That's how much downforce these cars got. It's incredible, isn't it? And now Fisher is 6/10 of a second back then, but he's gaining once again, gaining. We've also got Glock saying the first to pit here will gain a massive undercut. They really will, won't they? So I'm wondering if anyone's thinking about going on the hard tires. They could potentially go on the hard tires now, and then they will gain track position. But it also depends about the it does depend about what everyone else is going to go. Because if you have to pit now, you have to go on the hard tire or the soft tire. You don't want to go into the you don't go into the medium again, do you? Because then of course you will basically have to guarantee yourself 2 stops there. And you do not want that at all, do you? And this, I gotta say, I'm hoping this bar has a bit of a low at the moment, because that's 10 laps of frantic action. This is the, I gotta say, this is basically my exercise of the week. While I'm commentating on this, absolutely incredible stuff, isn't it? Fisher is now 3/10 of a second coming down the Wentworth straight once again. Fisher still all over the back of Jonathan. It's been a very elbows out kind of battle, isn't it? Brilliant stuff so far. We've got 16 more laps to go there. No, you're just having a sniff on the inside of Fisher, but nothing gained there as so it's going through left field then as they coming up to the old start for pit complex now. Look at how much curve they use there before flicking it into cops. Incredible stuff, isn't it? And now then as they come, and now they're on board then with Fisher then this is what 2/10 of a second looks like. It's incredible stuff, isn't it? As Droffer has just asked what's happened to Dan Murphy. Unfortunately Dan retired, didn't even get, Granty's got a penalty as well. So the only person who hasn't got a penalty now is this man here, the man we're riding on board, the man who's going to go for the lead. Then Jonathan is going, he's not defending the inside, so but he's staying on the outside. Keep an eye on the left. Then look at that Alpha Male front end play. Fisher's forced him out wide, and Fisher takes the lead. Jonathan has gone into the pits. So Jonathan is in the pits now, and I gotta say my voice is getting very squeaky. Yellow flag. There's a yellow flag. There's a car who's There's a it's Twang there. He's not having a good time out there in Cops, is he? He's trying to recover now. And he's down in 14th position there. Fisher leads second Nigel. Grant in third position. Fourth position is a far shot. Jonathan is in the pits then, and he is on the hard compound tyre. So Jonathan is on the hard compound tyre. That should get him to the end of the race. I'm wondering if the other guys are thinking about going on to the soft compound tyres. The soft compound tyres have done 10 laps so far, and yeah, so all they got to do is get another 6 laps out of those medium tyres, and they'll go on the soft tyres there. So Jonathan there is roll the dice and go on the hard tyres, so he's going to have a massive undercut, just like what Glock said, but I wonder if that's going to come back to haunt him in Mumford on the medium compound tyres. Matt's also going on the medium tyres as well, and so the guys who start on the softs are actually going on the medium tyres now. So this is an interesting ploy, isn't it? Good stuff indeed. Then just watching Mr. Elite come out of the pits as well. We've got Sam in 14th, Stringy in 15th, and Echo in 16th position as well. This is the battle for the lead still. And it's Fisher leads. Second is Granty. Second is Nigel. Third is Granty. Farshot in 4th position then. Jonathan is down to 9th position as it stands at the moment. Then Farshot is 3/10 of a second away then from Granty. Then we're on board Farshot. This is his best race of the season, isn't it? Well done to Farshot. He's doing an absolutely splendid job out there in the Haas. Brilliant stuff indeed. Going back to what Droffer asked then. What happened to Dan Murphy? Dan unfortunately didn't take the start, did he? Disconnected and he just couldn't get in his car. So that we've been robbed of potentially of another driver battling away in this race as well. So I was actually disappointed. That Favre is only 12 seconds off the lead, mind. So yeah, Favre could potentially become a bit of a and Favre's got penalty there, could potentially become a thorn in the sides of any one of these drivers here. Roscoe's in the pits, Steve's in the pits as well, and so they're going on the medium tyres. Well, Jonathan is the only man to go on the hard tyres. Stringy's on the hard tyres after a first lap, after the opening exchange where it didn't go too well, did it? And so apart from that, Jonathan has gone on the hard tyre side, so that's an interesting development. Is once again Grant having a look on the inside. Nigel is not buckling here in the racing point now as we come through left field again. Then, as yeah, just going back then. So we got Nathan Hughes is saying, I'm pretty sure Emerson went out super early last season in Silverstone too. Emerson confirmed that he did. We got that's our Ferrari off the track. It's Stringy's that's out of Beckett's, I think it is. That's unfortunate there for Stringy. He's on a bit of a nightmare start here in that Silverstone, really is, isn't he? I'm going back to the comments. Yeah, Emerson confirmed he did. Same corner, and no, just sorry, Nathan. So I thought you liked this track. I thought you said you were good at batting. So yeah, a bit of banter there between the Emerson and his fans there. But unfortunately, Emerson is out of this race there. So really, is racing and get off to a good start at all. Stringy's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits then. As Favre is dropped right off the pace. We got a yellow flag. We got a yellow flag in this section of the track here. And it was sorry, Stringy was retired from the race. I completely missed that. I'm all over the show. I'm all over the shop at the moment, isn't it? Favre has dropped back to 24 seconds. I thought it was 12 seconds not too long ago. It's up to 24 now. We've got Jonathan who's now bearing down on Favre in the battle for 6th and 7th, 5th and 6th. Remember, Jonathan's just going to the pits then. And he is trying to go for the undercut. He will, as Glock said, he will have a massive undercut, won't he? On board Grant, then he's the defending champion. Just in front of us, the man who took the championship off is Nigel. And then in front of him is a Fisher who hasn't got off to a good start at all in the championship. He hasn't got any points yet. Fisher hasn't. So yeah, I think this is definitely a welcome race if he can get this. This will be a welcome start to the season, won't it? Of course, we're on round 5 already. But because all you need is consistency in this race, and anything can happen this season. It is incredible, isn't it? Remember, I think Granty had struggled at the beginning of last season, didn't he? But my goodness me, the second half of the season he was absolutely phenomenal. He just kept chipping away, and that's how he got himself there, wasn't it? Really, really good stuff indeed from Granty. Then we're on board. Look at the understeer that we're on. I'm enjoying these on-board footages there with these top drivers. It's brilliant stuff. It really is. Farshot has dropped back to a second beat away now. Remember in Russia last season, Farshot really struggled with his tyre management, didn't he, against Fisher, and unfortunately that unravelled his race there towards the end there. But I wonder if he's having the same issue this time. Granty is rolling the dice. He is in the pits exactly at the half distance then. So the Williams driver is in the pits then. So he's also going for the undercut as well. Twang is saying, damn this race. So Twang there is having a difficult time there, isn't he, in the British Grand Prix at the moment. He's down in 14th position there, 16 seconds off Mr. Elite, and Sam is up into 12th position at the moment. Sam doing a good job there in the McLaren. Toon in 11th position, then Steve in 10th position. Steve, Roscoe and Matt there are still in close company of each other, and the Williams team, they're going on the soft compound tyres, Grant here, so that's got to be 13 laps there. remember Grant, I can't remember when it was there. I think it was in the first race of the season. Was it Russia or China where he just went absolute? It was Russia. Toon is left for session. That's not good. Toon is left for session there. Where is Jonathan? There is Granty. Granty is out in front of Jonathan there. So yeah, Jonathan is actually the undercut hasn't worked out at all well for Jonathan there. Jonathan there, is he gonna? He's not gonna have a look up the loop, is he? No, not quite. Granty needs to get his tires up to temperature then. And he will also, he's on two-step, but two-step softer tires than Jonathan as well. So that is so basically Grant, he does have the advantage now, doesn't he? This is not good. Oh, Jonathan there, really Simon down the inside. That I know nothing at all about Formula 1. Jonathan is through and up into 5th position. Fantastic stuff. Grant is going to go up and under then, and let's see what he can do then. And I got to say, every time I breathe in, I sound squeaky. And Grant is on the inside then, and he's on the inside going up to Copsen. Fantastic stuff. As he takes he takes 5th position away from Jonathan. Fantastic driving from both drivers. Brilliant stuff. There we go. I need a good call from him right now. Fisher is in the pits then for the Toros team. Twang is at the fast of the race. He will only keep that point if he gets in the top 10. Farshot is carried on then. So Farshot, who he was talking about whether he had an issue with the tire management, well, he stayed out then. Nigel and Fisher's in the pits, and the question, I think they're responding to this man here, and I'm wondering if these guys getting forced into a strategy they didn't really want to be in, of having these tires on for too long, and this is because of Grant rolling the dice. So Jonathan is on the hard tires, isn't he? So they will have a lot more durable. They will be a lot more durable. These hard tires can probably go forever and a day. Nigel is where's Fisher? Fisher cut out the pits now. Look at this, and the undercut is not working here in Silverstone. For Grant, it's where no, I might be wrong. Where's Fisher's in with third position? Grant in 4th position. Nigel in 5th. The undercut has really not worked, has it? Fisher still keeps the lead. Then Favre is just in front of us as well. And of course, Favre started from there, off the back of the field. It's in 2nd position as it stands at the moment, and Fisher breezes by him and moves up into 2nd position. Then Farf is dropping down into 3rd position. Then so Sam has given a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lanes. Granty then is just trying to get his tires up to temperature. Nigel in 5th position, I should say. And Jonathan dropping down into 6th in the pole sit then. So it hasn't gone well then. So he's got on the hard tires, and unfortunately it's not working out for the British Italian driver at the moment. So we're on board then with the Alfa Romeo. Incredible stuff in this epic British Grand Prix. Look at the gaps there. It's 25 seconds the gap between Farshot and Fisher. And look at Farfar, he's really struggling there, isn't he? Oh my goodness me! Farshot, Grant there a bit of the rear wheel of that Ferrari. Granted there is home back in. Farfar, it's really defended. Look at that, he's just about giving him a car's with Grant. He's on the inside, Farfar's on the outside. He's giving him a good squeeze. Grant is through. And oh my goodness me! And no, then look, Nigel and Farfar come together, but somehow they keep it going in the straight line. Wow! And Farfar is looking. Oh no, they've contacted Farfar, spun it. Farfar spun it. Grant here set the fast out of the race. And oh dear, there it was getting very feisty, was it? Down there, Farfar. That's not helping his journey to get some major points in the Ferrari Tour today. He has dropped down to 7th position then. Oh, was yeah, that was of course Farfar's on a completely different strategy, but he still needs to but of course he still needs to battle for it. And that's Farf off the track again. Farf is off the track again. It's gone bad there for the Ferrari driver. What a shame for Farf. He's absolutely inspired drive through the field, and now Farf is dropping down the order like a stone now as he's trying to get those tires back into they're overheating, they're screaming it, and they're too hot to give him the grip there. So you can see, look, Farfar spin again. I wonder if I think he's really I think he's frustrated with the events that have gone on there. So that's a shame now for Farfar. Lovely shot here from on the wind straight there, Steve. Good stuff. Back there with Nigel then really Nigel and Farfar again. It was really elbows. That wasn't between Granty, Nigel and Farfar. Really impressive stuff indeed, wasn't it, from all those drives. And Granty there is feeling the pinch from Nigel. Look at this, Nigel is gaining the game. Nigel's incredible, isn't he? He is going to go on the outside. Granty there is not going to. He is on the outside. He takes 4th, the 1st position. No, they're wheel to wheel. They're wheel to wheel. Granty and Nigel has the inside. Granty is not getting out. Granty is having an incredible battle here. And there's Fisher, who's just serenely really pulled away, and then these two, wow, they're incredible stuff. Ben Granny's there just about giving him a car sweep on the outside. Where are they? Grant Nigel's got on the outside, he's got off the inside, but he's gone off the track. He's gone off the track there. Granty is still in third position. This is incredible stuff. Fireshot is still out there on the medium tires, and one thing he needs to come in sooner because he's playing himself out of contention. He will have younger, softer tires, but I think he's going to give himself too much work. There's Jonathan in the background. Remember, Jonathan is on the hard tires and is I might be playing the long game here, but possibly, and that might come back to him later on in the race. But I think the soft tires is the way to go. Murphy has left the session there. What a shame there for Murphy. There, his miserable season continues at the moment in the Renault. What a shame. I think that we was robbed of a potential, another driver potentially battling in this race there. And I know what he's saying. You want more drivers in this race? It's been incredible. Far out of the race there. What a shame for Farfar. He was on an inspired drive, but unfortunately, it got very dicey in between Granty and Nigel and himself there, and it just didn't. And unfortunately, Farf kept the worst there. He was on a cracking drive back through the field, and now he's out of the race then. So both Ferraris are out, Young Knights out, Gooner's out, and Emerson's out as well, and Murphy's out. Nigel's gained on him again, and now Nigel going to go on the outside into Stowe. He does it. He's hanging on the outside. He has done it. That's a cracking move, and he's through and up into third position then. Nigel is through and I'm to third position. A fire shot is I'm not sure what happened there with the with the Haas team. Fisher takes the lead then, and Fisher is now, so at the moment Fisher, this will be his first race win of the season. This will be his first points of the season as well. Nigel second with Granty in third position. Jonathan is moved up to fourth position. Far shot is going to be behind Mumford as well. I think Echo is at the fast side of the race. Echo down in 14th position there. Mumford in 5th position. I think Fire shot should come out in 6th position, but he's given himself an awful lot of work to do on those soft tires. I'm not even sure what tires they are anymore. Blimey. I'm all over the show in this race. Incredible stuff. Granty and Nigel are really, it's the two champions battling away, isn't it? Of course, season 1 champion Nigel, season 2 champion Granty are just locking horns, isn't it? This is great stuff. This is what we want to see. This is what we love to see here in Silverstone as well. Lap 18 out of 26 has been an absolute joy to watch. It really has. And I've lost my voice a few times, so I've even started to sound like I was struggling to breathe at one stage. There's incredible stuff out here at the moment, and this is far from over, isn't it? Hopefully this will be a bit of a lull in the race now, and we can take stock to see what's going on. So I'm missing out the comments as well. I'm really sorry, guys. I'll try and get there to you in a minute. So Grant there is that's 3 tenths of a second back. I feel he's too far back at the moment there. So they go into Stowe once again then. So this is a close battle on track at the moment. We've got 14 cars remaining now. The 20 that, well, the 19 that started, 20 that was in this race, but of course we only had 19 starters and only 14 remain at the moment. Echo near the back of the field as well. He's having a bit of a nightmare race. Echo is, unfortunately, he was at a qualifying battle, which started from the back as well then. Glock was saying that Granty needs to build a big lead before his tyres wear out. He'll be in big trouble in the last 2 laps probably. And yeah, now I'm wondering if that might also bring Jonathan back into play as well. LH44 is asked, why did John go on hards and far for pit stop down? Shouldn't be battling those guys as well then. Of course, and that was a couple of laps ago where it's getting really hours out, wasn't it? Fire shot is all over the back of the Davidson Mumford. I gotta say, Mumford is drawing an absolutely splendid race out there, hasn't he? He's kept to the plan, hasn't he? To his strategy plan, and he is doing a fantastic job. He's doing a fine job there for the Mercedes team today, and getting them some points there as well. Then are on board there with Mumford. Then is he going to go up and under? Not quite. And that's a that's an Alfa Romeo of Echo there, and I think that I was having a look to see these guys here, because once again the 2 champions are just battling away once again in this incredible race here in Silverstone. This has been a fantastic race, hasn't it? And look at this, so Nigel's got a very slippery car on that back straight, hasn't he? He's just pulled away there from Granty, and the gap is up to half a second there. Fire shot is past Mumford and moved up into 5th position. Mumford 6 tenths of a second away then, and Echo is just trying to pull by then. Of course, Echo is a ghost, but of course he's a lap down, but he is really seriously setting the track alight there, isn't he, with those times out there. Good stuff there from Echo. He needs though to pass Twang. He needs to pass Mr. Elite, Twang, Toon and Sam to get to even think about getting that bonus point, doesn't he? So at the moment that is not happening there, is it, for Echo? Of course, you have to be in the top 10, don't you, to get the bonus point in a Formula 1 these days. Of course, that bonus point was introduced at the end of the beginning of last season, wasn't it? And it's really definitely as a tune there is dropped behind Sam. Sam moving up to 12th position then. Sam has scored points on the last 2 races, hasn't he? And he's really starting to put in some very good drives out from the McLaren team, doing a fantastic job. Sam is in the McLaren now, so he's now moved up to 12th position, and only two places away from potential points. But unfortunately, those points are 22 seconds behind Twang, and Twang's a further 13 seconds behind Mr. Elite. So it might. I think there might have to be a safety car or something unusual to get Sam or Toon or Echo any points really. As I think they're slightly out of the postcode now, and they're getting some points. But in the points itself, Ben, the gaps are so close, isn't they? I think Mr. Elite and Steve is the biggest gap, and that's 15 seconds. Everyone else is about 7 seconds or below. It's incredibly tight there in the midfield. Brilliant stuff. As the Toon has said that his connection's gone and he won't be back on, so unfortunately Toon has retired from the unfortunately Toon's out of this race, and what a shame for Toon there as well in the Toro Rosso. His teammate Fisher on the other hand is leading this British Grand Prix, and I think he's on his way to his 4th win of ALR at the moment, isn't he? Fisher is fantastic stuff indeed. Really good stuff there. Of course, we did mention in the qualifying show that Fisher is really good around the start. Remember, he won the community race, didn't he, in the summer of last season. Yeah, he's definitely adept to this track, isn't he? Fireshot is 6 seconds behind Jonathan now, and I'm wondering if Fireshot could potentially get in the 4th position actually, which will be a net gain. But I'm wondering if he spent too long out on those medium tires. But what do I know? I thought it was going to be medium to hard tires in this race, but that is completely wrong. And so never mind me. I don't know what I'm talking about. As Granty's gone purple in the first sector there, and he's now starting to really put the squeeze on Nigel, isn't he? With 5 laps to go in this British Grand Prix. These are long old laps around here, though, isn't it? So these 5 laps might feel like an eternity for some drivers. Fisher's got a 2.6 second lead, which is just about quite healthy out there. Jonathan is dropping away. He's 7 seconds back now in 4th position with Fireshot 6 seconds behind Jonathan. Got a pitter in Twang now who's coming into pits. I wonder if he's going to throw on a set of soft tires there and also try and get the fast lap as well. Grant, look at that, the understeer there from Nigel's car there, really not helping him out there at all then at the moment then. But today is a good day for Grant in terms of the championship, because he will be extending his lead. I think as it stands, will Nigel go up into sorry, I looked up there and I seen Grant off the track there, which is a bit worrying. Yeah, in terms of the championship, Nigel will, I think he will move up in front of Emerson and into 2nd position then. So Nigel will be up into 2nd, and Grant will be extending his lead in the championship today, which so it's all good from that point of view. But Grant there, I don't think we even think about the championship, because all he's thinking about is trying to get behind Nigel in the battle for 2nd position then. And now these two are going to go back at it once again in the British Grand Prix. Brilliant stuff indeed. Back on board then with Grant. They're coming down the Wellington Straight. Look at the sun is setting there. It's dusk here in Silverstone. Nigel's gone on the inside. Granty's on the outside then. Granty's going to stay on the outside. Look at this then. They're side by side, and Granty will have the inside into left field. He does have the inside to left field. He takes 2nd position. Nigel's going to go up and under now. Nigel is, but Granty's there covering the inside line. Absolutely beautiful up. Look at them. And Nigel there all over the big gearbox there of Granty there. They come through. Cops now. Whoa, wow, that was incredible, wasn't it? A brilliant shot there, wasn't it? Now then, Nigel then will like to kind of get himself back coming down the hanging straight. We're on board then with Nigel then coming through Magnus and Beck. It's a beautiful combination of corners, isn't it? Comes off the chapel quite nicely then. Granty there has had a good launch, but look at this time. Granty's down to go on the inside. Nigel's on the outside. He has the speed, doesn't he? He has a very slippery racing point there, and he flies on the outside of Granty and back up into 2nd position. Then Granty dropping back down the 3rd. Then this battle, I think, is going to be a race on battles in now, but this is allowing Fisher then, who I think has got no penalties as well, so he's having an incredible race. Fisher is today. Brilliant racing indeed there from the Toro Rosso driver, and this is a very good start. This could be potentially a very good start then to well, this is going to be his start of his championship campaign. I have no doubt about that. After of course he hasn't scored any points in the first 4 races, then he rocks up the Silverstone and he absolutely puts it on the front row, and he's been leading the race there since the round of pit stops, hasn't he? And once again we're on board with Grant then. Lap 23 out of 26. He's going to go on the inside this time, and he does go on the inside. Grant is through, and Nigel's dropping down into 3rd position then. Coming through left field again then. So as we're on board then with Nigel, I think Nigel will now be doing a bit of harvesting then before going on to the hanger straight, and might be trying his but look at Grant there. He's really launched off the out of left field there, hasn't he? He's really flown by. But look at this, they're back on board. Then look, don't you feel the adrenaline rush when we're on board, Nigel? It's incredible, isn't it? And you just feel that you're gaining on the car in front. But granted, there, you can show from that shot there that well, it's also probably about dirty air as well. But you can see that the Granty is Nigel's definitely got a slippery car in the corners there. He does struggle, but look at this, he's gaining, he's got like a turbo there, and he's out on loads down the inside, but Granty there, luckily the straight wasn't long enough there, and Granty there just about kept into second position then, as Fisher come around to complete lap 23. Then look at how close they are. They're almost one the same car. This is brilliant stuff, isn't it? Fire Shot is still 4 seconds behind Jonathan. I think the Fire Shot has run out of time now in this battle for 4th and 5th position then. Mumford, a fantastic race there, absolutely brilliant stuff in 6th position, really well done. Matt in 7th position with Roscoe 8th, Vasti in 9th position, and Mr. Elite is in 10th position, and Sam just outside the points now in 11th position with Twang in 12th, and Echo is in 13th position then. So yeah, Echo in 13th position, and unfortunately we've lost Toon Fan, who's out of the race there in the Toro Rosso, so we're down to 13 cars in this race then. In this race with 4 more laps to go, everyone. It's been an incredible race, hasn't it? A brilliant race of battling away. It's been fantastic stuff, hasn't it? Between the top 5 drivers, to Fisher, Granty, Nigel, Jonathan, and Farshot have had a race. Have had a first half of a race on battle, and then the second half of a race there they did split up there, haven't they? Jonathan going on the hard tires. And the others going on the soft tires. Far Shot staying out there 3 laps longer, but he took him out of contention there. Unfortunately, he didn't get, and he did get. Oh, excuse me, gosh, this race has been incredible, hasn't it? I've had all sorts of going on there, and well, Nigel's down on the inside. He's back up into 2nd position, and he takes second position away from Granty. And gosh, the elements haven't thrown anything at the dry state, but my goodness me, I'm having all sorts of problems over here. As I've got off sneeze a bit, I think. Fisher's on the second to last lap, trying to set the fast lap race, and it's now still not fast lap away then from, I think it was from Echo, wasn't it? Or it was Echo, I think, that had the fast lap. So it's a battle for the fast lap between 12 and 13 remote. As I said though, unfortunately they will not get those points because they're not in the top 10. Oh, excuse me. How terrible. Anyway, then I have a feeling that I've got a sick day coming. Anyway, going down the back, straight down the Wentz, and straight down Granty there, just under half a second back at the moment as they fly into coming down into the Luffield complex. And Sam just in front of us. He is in 11th position at the moment, Sam is, and just outside the points, of course. Sam, if anything does happen in the next lap or two, Sam could potentially, this will be 3 races in a row where he gets points, but unfortunately he does need a retirement because he's almost half a minute away from his teammate after Mr. Elite, who's in 10th position then. So it's Grant there, is still 4/10 of a second away at the moment. Nigel there is starting to, it's just trying to get a gap, isn't he, as much as possible over Granty. Granty's best opportunity is down the wide straight, but he's gone wide, Granty has, and he's lost momentum there going down the back straight. And look at this, he's lost 2/10 of a second, and that's going to be enough then, isn't it, for Nigel there to and Sam has got a 5-second penalty there for ignoring blue flags there. So it's Sam is now. That's an interesting shot, isn't it? As Nigel now goes inside of Sam. And he's there, but where's Granty? There's Granty, and Granty is 4/10 of a second back. This is the last lap of the British Grand Prix here in Silverstone, the home of motorsport, and it's been a great celebration. As 5 top drivers battling away for the lead today. It's been incredible. It really has. It's been absolutely fantastic. So we've had some great battles up and down the field, but unfortunately, it's been the main focus has been on the front runners because they have been incredible today, haven't they? Granty, well, I said the best position for Granty is down the Wentz straight, but I think he's too far back. It's the 6/10 of a second deficit there, which is not good. Which is not good for Granty's point of view. And Nigel there, Nigel at the boat is surviving second position. This battle between Nigel and Grant has been absolutely splendid stuff, and potentially, this potentially might be a season-long thing as well. And I've got to say, I'm really looking forward to this. These two have been very consistent over the first 4 races, haven't they? Nigel's consistency has been second, then 5th, and then of course he didn't have a very good Monaco race, and then won in Belgium. And Granty has also been very consistent as well, hasn't he? Of course, apart from Belgium, it didn't where it unraveled a bit. He's had first and second. It's been brilliant, hasn't it? Fisher then is coming down still for the 26th and final time. This man then who hasn't actually got a point yet so far is now going to get almost a full allocation then. And for the final time, Fisher then, on the final lap of the British Grand Prix, wins the Silverstone British Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff from Fisher, brilliant stuff. Nigel coming through to finish second at the end. Granty coming through to finish third. Those are your podium sitters for today. Jonathan is coming through to finish fourth. The pole sitter is down in fourth at the end. I wonder if the hard tire choice probably wasn't a good idea in hindsight. Fire shot stayed out too long, I think, as well in fifth position. Echo, Sam, Twang, and has all finished 11th, 12th, 13th. So all the guys there in the points will get points now. Mumford, brilliant debut. He's done a great job on those medium tires. But Matt is pinched 6th position away from Mumford, and Matt is up in the 6th position. Roscoe is in 8th position in the end. Steve is going to come through in 9th position for the Haas team. And as we're on board with Steve as he comes through the finish line position, and Mr. Lee is going to come through in 10th position as well. Mr. Lee is his first points since Australia since round 1 in Russia. And Fisher there, his first race win this season, his 4th race win of his ALR career. Brilliant stuff there from Fisher. He loves his place, and the place loves him, doesn't it? Absolutely fantastic stuff, Ben. Oh, and I gotta say, after through that race, I think I got ill. I think I've got overexcited there. I don't know, I need to lie down. Oh my goodness me! Fisher there he is, and that's his chance. He's finally off the mark of the points now. And what a better way to do it with a race win at round 5 here in Silverstone. And I'm wondering now, is this the start of something special there for Fisher? Nigel finishing second in the end there, but Granty will be has extended his lead in the championship today. He got third position today, but he's also extended his lead in the championship, which is what Granty would definitely have wanted then. Now let's go through the final classifications from the British Grand Prix, and before I even do that, a big mention there to Matt, who's got no penalties. That's a fantastic achievement from Matt. Brilliant stuff there. But this is the official classification now from the British Grand Prix round 5 of ALR Gold. Fisher there, brilliant win there. His 4th race win of his ALR career, fantastic. Nigel second there. Granty in 3rd position, and he extends lead in the championship. Jonathan is 4th there from pole position down to 4th. 5th position there was a far shot. I think he spent too long on the medium tires. Matt in 6th, then we got Mumford 7th, Roscoe 8th, Steve 9th, and Mr. Elite in 10th position. Echo, Sam, Twang, and Toon was the remaining drivers then in this British Grand Prix then. And well, I've got a couple of special guests in the commentary box today, and we got the race winner, and we got 3rd place as well, and also the championship leader. But let's start off with Fisher first. Fisher, what an incredible drive! And my goodness me, it was all out war between you and Jonathan in the opening couple of laps. Take us through that.
Yeah, that got interesting. I'll pretend I wasn't screaming some certain words at him at some point. Nearly put me straight into the grass at one point and sent me spinning. But no, it was a good race. I really enjoyed it, to be fair. Especially with Nigel and Granny behind, they were especially close in the first instance, so it was difficult to battle Jono and also defend from them.
I did, and when you said Jonathan coming to the pits, he came into the pit straight after you overtook him. Did you think you made a mistake on that one with the undercut?
Yeah, because I knew what tyres he'd gone onto, so I kind of knew he wasn't going to be anywhere near the podium come the end.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you was very happy with your decision then of not coming in the pits.
Yeah.
And also was your plan always to go from the medium to the soft tyres?
It is on here, yeah. It's an easy one stop with you can either do soft to medium or medium soft. So
I'll remember that for tomorrow night, guys. As I completely got the strategy wrong. And the second half of the race, it was, I got to say, it was a lot more casual up front then. As I think the action decided to then spiral down to second and third then. But the second half of the race, it looked quite easy from our viewpoint up here.
I didn't actually know anyone's penalties till about 2 laps to go. I didn't check, so I was just kind of trying to get above the 3 second mark, and obviously those two battling kind of helped me out quite a bit with that.
And of course, this is your first points finish of the season now. What is your aspirations now on? Surely, I'm sure it's now to kick on now, because I know that when you get yourself on the roll, you're very difficult to stop.
Yeah, I'd like to go out battle with Granty. I'm not sure what the standings are, I've not looked, but if I can keep putting in some good performances, it'd be nice to battle with Jono, Granty, Nigel and people like that a bit more.
Excellent stuff. Well done today, Fisher. Brilliant stuff. I think that's your 4th win of ALR, so well done indeed. Brilliant stuff, pal. Let's go to, I think it's Nigel in second, wasn't it? After that, for incredible battle between you and Granty. I don't know which way around you finished in the end. But Nigel, I'd say that you was keeping in the first stint. It was definitely an incredible battle between the first 5 cars. It seemed quite intense. You was in the thick of it.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired. It was a very hard race. A lot of great battles, of course, with Granty and with Fisher. I loved it, but it was not the thing I love to do.
I think it was the second half of the race that really got me intrigued. Between you and Granty, it was the 2 ALR champions battling wheel to wheel. I absolutely loved it, but I got too excited. I think I've caught a cold now. But it was brilliant wheel to wheel racing between you and Granty. I bet you was enjoying that, weren't you?
Yeah, of course. Of course, I'm happy because he's the second champion. Of course, it's happy of him, and so yeah. Of course, I'm happy, but I think if I speak out also for him, he loves to be first, as my.
I see. So the battling stage probably allowed Fisher to just wander away on the final stint. Is that right?
Yes, that's easy for him.
Well done, Nigel. A brilliant second today. Very well, hard fought. Let's come to Granty in 3rd position. And Granty, I got to say, I was hiding behind the pillow in a couple of stages there because I generally thought you and Nigel was going to have a big old smash up, but you two looked absolutely pros out there.
Oh mate, it was a cracking battle between me and Nigel. I mean, I tried doing the overcut, the undercut, to go on a lap earlier, and it kind of ruined me for the end. Because obviously we was overtaking like lap to lap, and when I sort of had a little mistake on the last like Megs and Beckett's, what you want to call it, my tyres were like 70%, and I think I pushed it a little bit too hard. But yeah, great battling from Nigel, very clean. I think we were pretty, like sort of neck and neck, and just didn't want to I don't know, get away from each other. So yeah, no, I'm really happy with that. Well done to Fish up and finishing first, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
That's right.
So did I was quite surprised with the undercut. I thought the undercut would definitely throw you like past Nigel and co, but you ended up behind Nigel. Was you surprised by that as well, or was that, or was you expecting that?
Well, I mean, like obviously when Jonathan, because he was the first guy to pit, and that was the person I was sort of worried about, because obviously when he did do his hard tyre round, obviously his tyres were like kicking into, have that sort of pace, and when we had that little battle, it was kind of hard to. Yeah, because I thought I was going to be ahead of Nigel. Maybe I might have been ahead of Fisher, but again, I did a lap later of tyres, and I think Fire Shot went a little bit too much for the medium stint. It just put us back up to where we really should have been. But yeah, no, it was a cracking race though. I really enjoyed that.
It really was. And just a last question to Nigel and Granty. There was an instant where I think Farf got involved as well, which was a bit elbows out really. What was your opinion of that? I must admit, I thought it was a bit dicey.
I'll let you go first, Nigel.
Oh, jeez. Definitely not happy with that. Of course, I was going into the grass with 4 wheels, and I don't know how I keep managed the car, but I did it. But definitely not happy about it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was obviously like Farf was still battling with us, and he was on like older tyres, and yeah, when Nigel was up my rear, when he tried getting through Farf, like I was in the pipe with Emerson, and he was saying like, he had contact with Nigel, and I was like, oh no, like hopefully there wasn't too much of like, no wing damage or anything. So I'm glad Nigel stayed put and got P2 in the end. So he did deserve it. So well done.
Brilliant today, guys. Personally, I loved it, but that's because I'm a bit selfish, you see, and I just love racing. Anyway, well done, guys. Absolutely fantastic stuff today. Fisher, his 4th win in ALR in his ALR career. Brilliant stuff. Nigel and Granty, an absolutely epic wheel-to-wheel battle between the two champions. Fantastic stuff as well. We got a couple of unhappy drivers in the comment section, but I'll leave it for you guys to read. And we're back tomorrow then for the silver action. And now I know what the strategy is, so I'm going to look like a proper pro. We're also also back in a week's time as well, as we're in the Hungarian Grand Prix. That is going to be a fantastic race. Well, it's going to be a dust bowl, isn't it, for the gold, guys? We'll see you in a week's time.